reaction was, oh my God, there's so much a task, so much to be done. But as time progressed, and now when it's completed, you kind of enter the church and you have a calm and peace and a very tranquil environment that gives you a sense of the divine's presence.
If you are from Bandra or someone who just loves the charm of old Mumbai, then this story is for you. I'm talking about the St. Andrew's Church in Mumbai's Bandra. This is a 400-year-old church. And what's new? The church stands transformed with its new look, a fresh look. After months of restoration, the St. Andrew's Church has finally reopened its doors, exposing layers of new architectural designs, new hidden designs, architectural elements. So right now I'm standing at this historic and iconic church in Mumbai. Let's find out what has changed after the restoration and what this means for Bandra's cultural identity.
So when you first walk into the church, or when I first walked into the church when it was in the state of disrepair, my reaction was, oh my God, there's so much a task, so much to be done. But as time progressed, and now when it's completed, you kind of enter the church and you have a calm and peace and a very tranquil environment that gives you a sense of the divine's presence. It just calms the body and the mind and the soul, and you feel that you're before God. Were there any significant discoveries? Well, there were some discoveries. The first was that the entrance to the pulpit, which was walled up, is now opened up. There was also the two belfries which had windows and a choir loft. Now we've opened them up. They were also bricked up. Now we have opened them up and have statues of St. Andrews facing the southern side and the northern side. And the other things were always there in the church. We've never changed the character of the church. We've only enhanced it with the proper painting, care towards it through lime-plaster and restoration, a little bit of edging on the windows to give it different themes of the Eucharist, as well as have the consistent sign of St. Andrew, which is his cross, the anchor, the 5 loaves and 2 fish, which is on every window. So we've tried to maintain the originality of the windows, originality of the church in every way possible. Well, there is always the difficulty of balancing. There are requirements to bring the church to a new way or new understanding, keeping in mind the history and the heritage. So while we've restored the church, we've also made it handicap accessible with ramps. We've also ensured that the ventilation is proper, and we've got the big fans known as helicopter fans. And we've also improved the acoustic treatment of the church and put in a sound system that would be worthy of worship. So balancing the two has been a fine act. We've ensured we've maintained the integrity of the church, its architecture, its heritage, and its history, but we've added elements that enhance the character of the church and allow the church to be a place of devotion, a place where you can truly feel the divine presence.
I'm a heritage evangelist. I don't do this for a living, but I love the city and there's a lot of heritage. So I do tours on behalf of Khaki Tours. Khaki Tours stands for Keeping Heritage Alive and Kicking in India. And we have over 60 walking tours and all kinds of tours in Bombay. So I'm representing them right now. This is a very interesting church that we are standing at. And this is how the church looked at one point in time. This is the oldest church in Bandra. It's called the St. Andrew's Church. And if you look at it, this particular structure that I'm showing you came up in 1864. So this structure is more modern. And before this church actually came to stand somewhere in the 1570s. It is much, much older than the Mount Mary Church, which most of us think could have been a very old church. Some beautiful things about this church. It's got Baroque style from inside. Baroque means this is how the altar looks and all of that. Baroque comes from French. A lot of detailing goes into the design and the elements. You'll notice that, like many churches, there is a graveyard and there are family graves as well. So here the graveyard is there, and this is at the entrance of the church. Most people wonder how could it be at the entrance, but the logic or the answer is very simple. This was not the front, this was the back. Earlier it was people who come by sea and access the church, and the church's orientation turned, and this became the front once the roads and all came. This leads to Chimbai village. Bandra was made up about 25 villages and pakhadis. Another beautiful thing about this church is the cross there. You'll see a cross which is not a wooden cross, but that cross has the 29 passions of Christ, which are the stations and what Christ went through before he got crucified. So that came from another church called the St. Anne's Church, which would stand on SV Road, where today a mosque has come up. And that particular church, when it was destroyed by the Portuguese in the 1500s, what remained was the cross which came here. So do visit this church. It's been very recently renovated. Yeah.
Yeah, this is also recently renovated. Restoration work has taken.
So many times it's been restored and renovated. This is the latest one that's been done now and is just opened in time for the Christmas season.
Right.
And it's a beautiful parish inside. There are entrances from that side as well. This of course is the main entrance. Whenever you get the time and interest, do visit. It's a lovely place to come to.